The flower we're going to fold today, I call it the blue delphinium. Here are the tools and supplies. A ruler with centimeters on it, a sharp knife for cutting edges, glue stick. This is just a little tiny Phillips screwdriver, good for poking holes. And this is a Q-tip that's been cut off. We'll put those aside for right now. We have a 15 centimeter square dark blue piece of paper and a green piece of paper for the stem, and really just a scrap of yellow paper any size that you have available for the stamen. Set these aside. To make a flower this size, you only need 1/4 of a sheet for each of the layers. The layers are made with bluebell origami flowers, which I learned from YouTube on a video by Andy Origami. So we'll make 2 bluebells, nest them inside of each other, and then put a yellow for the stamen in the middle. So first, just carefully fold this in half. Make sure the corners line up well. Okay. And then we'll take our sharp knife between the 2 pieces of paper, slice it off, set one of them aside, and then we'll fold this in half again. Make sure the corners line up really well. And slice it again. Now one of these will make the outer bluebell, and we'll use the other one for the inner bluebell. This one should be 5 centimeters. Or 7.5 centimeters, in width, 7.5. And this smaller one will make it, say, about 5 centimeters here. And so we'll make a couple marks at 5 centimeters on this paper. Fold them into a line. Okay, make sure everything squares up. It doesn't have to be perfectly exactly a particular length, just so it's smaller and can fit inside, and you need to make sure that it's square when you're done. So now that we have it the width we want, to make sure it's square, we fold a triangle across. Okay. Then fold this flap down very precisely, coming across. Okay. Fold that. And slice off the rest. So now we have 2 pieces, one for the outer and one for the inner bluebell. We'll set aside the inner one and work on the outer one. First, let's fold it in half horizontally. Good. Open it up, turn it 90 degrees. Fold it in half again. Make sure the corners line up really well. Okay. We have a valley fold here. Flip it over so that the horizontal ones give a mountain fold. And then let's fold again on the diagonals. Okay. Unfold it, turn it 90 degrees, and fold again on another diagonal. Pick it up now and turn it over. We should be able to valley fold along one of the horizontals. And as we do that, pinch the two horizontal sides, and you see a little pocket here. So just twist and push your ends together, and you should get a plus sign as you look at it from that angle. Flip one of the flaps to the left and one to the right. Bring the open end towards you. Now what we want to do is turn this flap to the middle here. And then the flap on the other side, just a single flap, also to the middle. Okay, let's turn it over. Do the same thing here. Flap to the middle. The other flap to the middle. Okay, and you can always adjust it a little bit if you need to. There we go. So we should have a kite shape. Now what we want to do is to take these flaps and fold them inside. So lift just this very first tip up and hold it up with your thumb as you push this corner in, and make the bottom fold along the crease that you just made. And the top, the crease is going to be a little harder because you're reverse folding on the crease, so be a little more careful with that. And then on the other side, same thing too, push this corner in, find that crease on the top and the bottom, and flatten them out. Flip it over, and we do the same thing. Open up the two flaps, lift the tip up, hold it with your thumb, push in the edge, find that reversed folded crease on the top, and then find that crease on the bottom. Do the same thing the other side. Crease on the bottom's easy, the one on the top's a little bit tougher there. Okay, we have a kite now. We want to take these tips and fold them partway to the center. It doesn't really matter how far to the center you go, it'll just kind of affect the shape of the flower in the end. So we'll take this tip and fold it maybe about 2/3 the way to the center, and you'll notice that I did a little bit of a slant to it. That's all aesthetics. You can vary it a little bit, and it is not going to really make that big of a difference. Try and make this one even, especially along the bottoms and the tops, with what you did on the other side. Now flip it over. Easy way for me is to match up those corners to make sure that I have a symmetrical fold on both sides. Okay. Now we take the stubby end and we're just going to make a crease in it to make things easier. Crease it, press it down good, and bring it up. Now we want to inflate the flower. A good way to do this is to take opposing flaps and very gently start pulling them out And then I'll push this tip down on the table to kind of help flatten it out. And you see it flattened it out here, and that kind of opens up everything. Take your Q-tip and push it along. It may even help to kind of reverse the crease a little bit on the top to hold it in so it just doesn't collapse right back in after you've gone to the trouble of pushing that fold out. Now we want to curve our petals down. We can use something like the Q-tip for a tight curve, or we can use something with a little broader radius like a pencil or a pen. Just grab that tip and start rolling it down. Give it a 3 count, 4 count, 5 count, and let go, and you have a little roll down. Same thing, twice. And the last one. Okay, as you do that, it's going to deform a little bit. It's no big deal. Just pop it back out. Okay, that is the outer layer of the delphinium. Get these. You don't want to push these petals so hard that they crease. You're wanting to have them remember a bend, a smooth bend. Okay, so we set that one aside, and we bring in the smaller piece of paper. And now this can be a little bit more difficult because of its size. Now we'll want to roll these down, and we'll probably use something smaller like this Q-tip instead of the pencil, because it's the smaller part of the flower. Roll it down, let it free. Okay, and now just fiddle with it till you get a pleasing shape. Straighten that corner out. Okay, now this will sit in here. It's naturally going to want to sit square, so when you put it all together, you have to kind of forcefully make it go 45 degrees out to get the lay that you want. But now it's time to make the pestle. Correction, this is a stamen. You only need about an inch by an inch and a half or so square here. That big. Let's make it 3/4 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch here. 3/4 of an inch here. Pull that back on each other. Take our sharp knife and there we go. And then we really only need about half of this, if that much. So we'll cut this in half too. Here we want to make a very square curl around our Q-tip and give it, start a couple little rolls back and forth so that the end of it really tucks in well, and then keep it rolled nice and tight as you go, and then take the last little tab of it and give it some paper glue. Roll it in and press it down. Press it down good. Okay. Now pull it off of the Q-tip. And I did not mention it in the list of things, but a small pair of scissors will help right now. So flatten this out and try and make 3 or 4 even cuts. One, two, all right. Round that back out, and what you want to do is just spread these out. Okay. Now we need to make the stem. To make the stem, we take the green one. We really don't need the whole system, about 1/3 will do. So if I take my 15, mark it at 10. Mark it at 10. Okay. Place that. I didn't do a very good cut there, but that's okay. For this one, fold it in half to get 2 pieces. And now we need to roll these into stems. So here we want to do a 45-degree angle roll. Same issue, go back and forth a couple times to get that tip to go under, and then roll it fairly tight. Pull your stick out some. Keep it nice and tight. And when you come to the end, this nice little flap, give it a good amount of glue and roll it down. Okay. If you look at it, it's kind of a little wider at this end than that end, so we'll use that direction for the stem. Take the second one and do the same thing. Okay. These two will fit together like this, and then this one will fit in here. Now here's where you might want to use a glue gun to put a little dab of glue in there and hold everything together nice and firmly. Now we take our pointy device and make a small hole through the bottom of this one and through the bottom of this one. Start here and push this through. Twirling helps it keep nice and aligned. Okay. All right. You don't actually have to have the full length as you push through. You can push through with one and then add the other afterwards. And now bring it down so it comes in at a 45-degree angle. Gently push it in a little bit.